So element 5, reteaching and intervention time, or what I need time, or win time as it's called sometimes. So this is a really special time that needs to be carved out into your schedule. And we do this reteaching or win time with just the foundational outcomes, or what you feel is essential for the future success of your kids. You cannot do this with absolutely every outcome. It's just those hills you're willing to die on. So what's important is when it is win time or what you need time, that there is no new content being taught in that time. Everybody has to agree to that, because all kids deserve that good tier 1 instruction in the classroom. Kids that have it have the opportunity to extend or enrich or work on some mastery with their learning. Kids that need just a little bit of reteaching that are almost there have that opportunity in this time. And you might also be using that time for gap filling or preloading what they need for an upcoming unit, or working on those prerequisite skills. And other students might need intensive intervention in this time. So it's suggested that you think about your class and their needs, and you schedule this right into your timetable, 1 to 3 times a week for math and 1 to 3 times a week for ELA. So when you think of RTI, as an upside down pyramid instead of a right side up pyramid, you think of that good tier 1 teaching as that prevention. We want to make sure that all kids in our school get that. They all need the good tier 1 teaching. Then you have your next level, which is the intervention, and that's when we just do some reteaching and we give the kids an opportunity to brush up on some things. And then for our more intensive remediation, we might have only a handful of kids that need that. So that would be our tier 3. Okay, so this is what you need to know how to do what you need time. So it's very important that you have the most skilled teacher with the students that are struggling the most. By most skilled teacher, what I mean is the person who has the most training in the subject area that you're teaching. Who would you consider to be an expert in math, say, for example? They should work with the kids that are having the most trouble in math. So you're also going to want to talk to your kids about this time. You're going to talk about your expectation and how it works and why we're doing it and the importance of it. You want to talk about what it looks like, what it sounds like, and what it feels like, and what it doesn't look like, sound like, and feel like. You want to let them know that it's exactly what you need at this time. So it doesn't matter what your neighbor's doing. You need to just worry about what you need and start to look internally and think about what you need and what do you really need to get better at? What do you need help with? Then you're going to plan out what your students need and look at who can help you with this time. So you're going to consider some prerequisite skills and looking ahead. So for example, if you're teaching 3-digit by 2-digit multiplication, think of all the different skills that a student needs to do that. They need to know place value, they need to know addition with carrying, and they need to know fact fluency. The same way if you were looking at adding fractions, they need to get what a fraction is, they need to get what equal parts are, they need to know equivalent fractions, what a denominator and a numerator is, and they also need multiplication and addition facts. So what you need to know is these are the steps you can do to do the planning to prepare for what you need time. The first thing you're going to start thinking about is recruiting help. Cast your net wide and think about all the people in your school that would possibly have time in their schedule to lend you a hand in this period. So you have administrators, librarians, student support teachers, parents, other students, possibly from the other places in the school, and ask the kids at this point what you think they need help with. Even if you know, it'll be nice to see if they know what they need. Then the next step would be who needs what. So you're going to make a master list. You're going to put down who needs extension, mastery, enrichment, who needs reteaching because they're almost there, who needs to fill some gaps, and who needs some prerequisite knowledge and skills, and also who needs that intensive intervention if that's a possibility as well. Then you're going to give everybody a job. Keep in mind that some students are only going to need supervision, especially if they're in the extension and the enrichment. They don't need to necessarily have a teacher with them. They could have a parent with them or an older student. Some kids are going to need that small group instruction. Some kids are going to need one-on-one. So, and again, remember the most skilled teacher with the most struggling students at that time. Then you're going to go for it. Take a deep breath and go on your way. Prepare the kids for the movement or no movement, depending on how you're doing it in your class. Discuss those expectations, keep them high, and be very clear. Have a debrief afterwards, include exit slips, absolutely, so that you can track the gaps and the next steps. And don't worry if it's a disaster the first few times you do it. The more you do it, the better it gets, for sure.